Y'all want to know how I'm feeling tonight? I'm feeling exactly as such. Give me one margarita, I'ma open my legs. Give me two margaritas, I'ma give you some head. Give me three margaritas, I'ma put it in my puss. Give me four margaritas, I'ma put it in my tush. Give me five margaritas, five margaritas, five margaritas. You guys, happy Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo. It's the time that I'm filming this. I know the time you're watching this is not Cinco de Mayo, but currently, as I speak, as I film, it is Cinco de Mayo. And I want to wish all of you a happy Cinco de Mayo. I just came back from dinner with my father, who was in town, and I had one single, uno, spicy margarita. Felt great. I do work tomorrow, so I couldn't indulge in anymore, but it felt great, and I feel great. Guys, I feel great. I am so happy that I get to do this, and I get to put my thoughts out there on camera for you guys, and I'm just so happy. Let's take a trip, guys. Let's take a trip. Let's take a group podcast trip. That's how I'm feeling. You guys, welcome back to Alone in a Room, starring me, Connor Lewis, as I sit all alone in a room. And today I have a very special episode to put forth to you guys. This thought came to me while I was in the shower getting ready for dinner, and I said, oh, I gotta film that tonight. I gotta do this tonight before it gone into the void, into the ether, into the abyss. Gone. The thought is out of my head forever. So I took the time just before filming this to really sit with the thoughts, sit with the ideas, let it dwell, let it simmer, put it down on paper, present it to you guys. Because I'm in my Gamemaker era, okay? We're talking hunger games. We're talking Hunger Games again today. And I'm in my Gamemaker era. If I was in the Hunger Games universe, if I was living in the country of Panem, I'd be a capital citizen. Yes, I would. I would be living in the capital because I know my job. I'd be a sadistic little game maker because I got crazy ideas. I got Quarter Quell ideas. I got arena ideas. All this shebang. I got mutt ideas. You guys don't even know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list some of my faves out to you guys, and I'm going to break them down. Break it down. Oh, hammer time. Oh. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So my very first idea, is it a joke idea? Mayhaps. Could it potentially happen? You don't know what I got cooking on in my Gamemaker brain. First Hunger Games arena idea. Starbucks cold bar. There are no weapons, only my drive to murder. Only my drive to kill. I'm also Gamemaker, I'm also tribute, that's it. Customers are the other 23 tributes because, those games would be over within an hour. 1 hour is all I need. If I'm on cold bar and I'm getting venti strawberry acai lemonade with light ice and no berries, can I get 4,000 mocha cookie crumbles, but I want each one to have a little bit different combination of milk? And then can I also get a Trenta pink drink with 3 scoops of vanilla bean powder, heavy cream, no berries, light ice, and vanilla sweet cream cold foam? Side note, that's the glop glop drink that I just listed. Trenta pink drink with light ice, no berries, heavy cream instead of coconut milk. What are you doing? What are you doing to your stomach, to your body? You're heavy cream? Are you chewing your beverage? Are we 3 years old looking for your apple sauce replacement? What the fuck? Are you taking I don't have anything near me. Are you taking a sip? That's how it sounds when you go in your mouth. And then to indulge in the flavors. It might taste good. I don't know. I'm not going to try it. I will bully you even though I have not tried it because what the fuck? Dare I say once again, what the fuck? So you take your sip. That's how it sounds going in your mouth. Then you swirl it around in your mouth to get the flavors. And then you swallow. Excuse me? Does it land with a kerplop inside your stomach? how does it feel traveling through the small intestine? Is it as your intestine molds it and tries to suck out any kind of nutrients from it? Then, most importantly, how does it feel exiting your body? Are you going boom boom in your diaper? Are you going boom boom in your diaper, or are you splattering the porcelain throne with the remnants? What the fuck? Anyway, so yeah, I'm on Cold Bar. That's the Hunger Games arena, and my pure drive to murder under stress. No weapons. All I have are my whipped cream canister and my lethal eyes, my lethal stare that I'm on my fourth Frappuccino, all different, never the same, and then someone orders something else at the window. What the fuck? That's all I need. I actually, Darwin is rolling over in his grave because the fury causes me to evolve like a Pokemon at level 16. And what is my evolution, you ask? It's me, but with laser vision, because I'm lasering your head off. Like, what the fuck? That's Hunger Games. That's me as a tribute in the Cold Bar Hunger Games arena. Now, so that's the first one. This is the first one I want to go over. Number 2, how best to format this? I think I'm going to go alternate, arena idea, Quarter Quell idea, arena idea, Quarter Quell idea, until I run out of either or, and then I'll just swap to the next one. First Quarter Quell idea is, this was kind of a collaborative effort with my friend Rebecca, who is also a sadistic little fuck like me. And we came up with this concept. I came up with the concept of the initial drawing, the initial reaping of the tributes are the only tributes in the bowls are siblings. And if one tribute gets okay, I have to think it through. Because a lot of these I've thought in concept, but I haven't really spoken them aloud. But this one was kind of a collaborative effort where only siblings can be reaped. So I guess in practice, how this would work is there's a bowl of, there's one, this falls into another Quarter Quell idea. So one pool. This is the one pool Quarter Quell idea. It's a one pool Quarter Quell, if you will. Let's go back to siblings. Let's cut that. Let's pocket it. Put it in the back pocket. We'll check back in. A one pool Quarter Quell idea. And this might have different themes to it. It might have different outcomes depending on the theme of that Quarter Quell. So because we stopped at the 75th Quarter Quell, I'm going to go ahead and say this is Quarter Quell number 100. Quarter Quell 100 is a one pool Quarter Quell. And what that means is there's one reaping glass ball with all the tributes' names in it, okay? One name gets pulled. The female tribute is Orpheus Starglade. Orpheus Starglade. Blah, 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 boom. The gag is, it's a one pool. I don't know if you guys were listening, so I'm going to say it one more time. It's a one pool Quarter Quell, one pool reaping. In this 100th Quarter Quell, I think as a reminder that, let's see, as a reminder that all the districts banded together against the capital, so too shall the tributes be pooled in and drawn from the same ball. Yeah, because remember, Orpheus Starglade is, did I say he was the male or female tribute? Let's go with male. And then immediately after, the female tribute gets called from the same bowl. But the gag is, there might not be a female tribute. We could call, freaking, as I blank on a name. So Orpheus Starglade is male tribute number 1. Then tribute number 2 gets called. Remember, one pool, one glass ball reaping. Another tribute gets called, and it could be another male. It could be a female. Who knows? It could, But that's like in every district. So maybe District 1 has a male and female as normal to send up. Maybe District 3 has 2 females that they pulled from the glass ball. Maybe District 7 has 2 males that it might pull, and then so it shall be. So it's kind of like, it's not necessarily one man, one female from each tribute, from each district. Y'all know what I'm saying? That's going to be Quarter Quell number 100 as a reminder that all the rebels banded together against the Capitol, so too shall they be reaped from the same ball. Boom. That's, okay, Quarter Quell number 100. Next. This is one of my favorite. I thought of this concept all by myself, and I'm so proud of it, so I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty of it. The arena that I have in mind is a picturesque suburban town or suburban neighborhood, however you have it. You're in this picturesque suburban neighborhood, all the tributes, the cornucopia is kind of like in the main park area, the main walking hub. Think like Central Park, but not that expansive. That's where like the cornucopia and the games start. All around you are like cookie cutter houses, a shopping center, the town square. You have all the classic telltale signs of just suburban life. And there's citizens and people are walking their dogs. There's families playing in the park, blah, 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 blah. And all these citizens that are inside the arena, they're not real. They're mutts. But I'll get into that in just a second. All these mutated citizens, they are perfectly harmless. They do nothing wrong. They don't even bother the tributes. But the gag is, if any of the tributes bring harm to one of the citizens, so say like they're creeping around a corner and then like a citizen is like walking and they accidentally stab the citizen in the stomach, then they turn into legitimate mutts where they become grotesque, disfigured, they gain strength, and whoever was involved in that attack that the tribute performed accidentally, then they all swarm and attack that tribute. So it kind of forces or it encourages nighttime battles from the actual tributes, because once all the citizens go to sleep and like their day-to-day routines are done, then they go to sleep and they kind of hibernate, but that opens the playing field for the tributes because they might not make the mistake of getting a citizen, if you catch my drift. Okay, so that's my like arena idea, and like you can like go into their houses, you could sleep in their beds during the day, or if they have a spare bedroom, you can like spend the night in like a spare bedroom. The only thing is, food is only available at the grocery store of the picturesque suburban town. There's got to be a caveat though. Oh, you know what? That actually, if the only food source is available at the grocery store, then it kind of encourages the tributes to like gather in this one specific location and encourages fighting and blah, blah, blah. So that's my little suburban town life idea. And let's rate. Let's put our first Spotify poll down at the bottom. Okay, so if you're listening to this on Spotify, if you're listening or watching this on Spotify, join in the poll. Now, I don't know, because a little backstage, behind the scenes insight on my little process here. I upload this to Spotify's creators platform, and I can add a poll, but I don't know if that would add it to like all the things it distributes it to. So like Amazon, Apple, wherever you're listening to this right now, that's not Spotify or YouTube. If there's a poll, join in. I'm going to be putting in all these ideas, or as many as I can, maybe my favorites, up to the max. But what am I trying to say? What am I saying? What are you saying? Say your thought. Vote for your favorite, okay? Let's get a little interaction. I want this to be a conversation. So drop your arena ideas in the comments. Drop your Quarter Quells ideas in the comments. Maybe ways to improve or make even scarier all of my ideas. I invite this as an open conversation. Next Quarter Quell idea I have right here. Oh my God. Okay. Yes. So we're going back to siblings. I already mentioned it. It's siblings. But it is what did I say? One pool reaping. It is a one ball reaping. However, one name is called, the only names that are in the pool are siblings. They come in pairs, or however many siblings you have in your family. One name gets drawn, and if it's a pair of siblings, so say I have an older brother in Pan Am, okay? If my name gets drawn, automatically my older brother is going into the arena with me. He's the second tribute. Now, say I have an older brother and an older sister, my name gets drawn, then the two have to go up on stage with me. And logistically, how would this work? I guess they would just come up with like new little slips of paper, drop it into the orb and like mix it up. And then they would then pull from the names of all the siblings of the first person drawn. So I think Gale Hawthorne in the Hunger Games, I think he has 4 siblings, all younger. So if Gale gets drawn, all 4 siblings go up on stage with him. Their names are then dropped into the reaping ball, and then boom, Posey, you're going in with him. So this was like the collaborative idea that I had with my coworker and my friend Rebecca, because there was a saying that she told me that I thought was very, very interesting. We all know the popular phrase, blood versus water, or blood is thicker than water, meaning you align yourself with your family naturally because blood is thicker than water, and that bond is stronger than the bonds of people that you aren't related to, or that you don't have that kind of connection with. But she told me what the actual saying came from, and I want to read it out for you guys because I've never heard it before, and it was very cool. So the full phrase, blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, and according to Google AI, is believed to have originated in the 12th century. Now, let's get into that. So according to this website, prowritingaid.com, the phrase blood is thicker than water is common in modern English. The popularly used phrase means that the bond you share with family is stronger than any other bond. It suggests that you should be more committed to your family members than to friends, lovers, coworkers, etc. And that's literally what I just said. I'm so smart, and you guys can't match my level of intelligence. The phrase can be traced back to the 12th century in Germany. The equivalent of the phrase is found in the Heidelberg manuscript. When translated to English, the phrase says, I also hear it said that kin blood is not spoiled by water. Although it slightly differs from the current phrase, the Germanic phrase still connotatively implies the significance of family relationships. The phrase's current form, blood is thicker than water, then later appears as a proverb in Scottish literary works. It is often attributed to Scottish novelist Sir Walter Scott, and it appears in his 1815 novel, Guy Mannering. But where did the covenant come from? Obviously, the covenant came from Jesus, but how did Rebecca explain it? Oh, so Rebecca was talking about it as in terms of like the Quarter Quell tagline. So for the 125th Quarter Quell, because remember we're going chronologically, the 125th Quarter Quell, they would say, how did she word it? Like, as a reminder that the blood of rebellion runs thicker than the water of the womb. No. We would say, like, as a rebellion, that the blood of the rebellion runs stronger than the water. The blood of the rebellion runs stronger than the water of the districts, maybe? Does that make sense? As a reminder that the blood of the rebellion runs thicker than the water from your peanuts, the water from your dick and balls, the water from the stream, as a reminder that the blood of the rebellion runs stronger than the water of the current age, maybe. Let's see. Think, what would it be? Get in the Gamemaker perspective.
Get in the Gamemaker mind. I am a sadistic fuck, and I like to put children to the death with nasty pods in a really cool arena. As the blood of the rebellion runs thicker than the water in the womb, I guess we could say. Yeah, because the original phrase would be, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. What's the original phrase again? Kin blood is not spoiled by water. Blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Oh my God, finally, after 9 years of figuring it out, the blood of the rebellion runs thicker than the water in the womb is the tagline. So that's the sibling. That's as a reminder that the blood of the rebellion runs thicker than the water in the room, the tributes offered by the district this year shall be siblings. That's my El Presidente impression. Not necessarily President Snow, just my El Presidente of Panem impression. So that's the 125th Quarter Quell. Thank you to Rebecca for collaborating with me on that. It's going to be great games. We're going to have great games. Good games. Good games. Good games. Next up. Next arena idea. I did Colbar. I did Suburbia. Now, I was thinking that you can place the tributes in the center of a hedge maze. Think Harry Potter Triwizard Tournament third task. The hedge maze. And I kind of got an idea from Reddit. I don't remember. Maybe it was, no, I got an idea like this from TikTok, where the mutts are kind of like mythological beasts that are all around the hedge maze. And in order to pass them, like the Sphinx, in order to pass them, you have to surpass them in some type of skill. So one of the mutts can be a Sphinx, and you have to answer a riddle to get past her to get to water, or to a weapon of some sort, or to sustenance that you need, or to escape from danger. But imagine your tribute running away from District 2, killer is right behind you, and a Sphinx is like, what walks on 4 legs at the beginning of life, that 2 legs in the middle of life, and 3 legs at the end of life. And you're like, oh, God. Hang on, Kato, back up. Hang on, Kato. I got this. Oh, okay. 4 legs at the beginning of life. And glitter shot you in the head with an arrow, because you couldn't solve the riddle in time. So yeah, there's like a whole bunch of mythological beasts around as mutts, or if we're not doing mythological beasts, if we're not gonna rip it directly from Harry Potter, we're just gonna do a hedge maze, and there might be areas of peace and relaxation. There might be areas of danger, where it could be like a lava pit, or you're walking, you turn a corner, and it's just a cliff that you fall down and die from. But natural barriers, because obviously the hedge maze would have no exit. There's nothing you could do to climb the hedges, to look over, because then that's cheating. They'd be way too high to climb, and then if someone did attempt to climb the hedges, somehow at the top it would cause them to fall and plummet to their death. That's arena number 3. Next, Quarter Quell idea. We're moving quick, because these are the underdeveloped ideas that I had. Quarter Quell 150. I have written, unbeknownst to the tributes, they are placed in individual arenas blindfolded. Okay, so reaping is as normal. 2 pool reaping, 2 glass ball reaping. Then you get your male, your female tribute. They go through psych evals. They do blah blah blah. They find out their yes, I like this. I didn't write that down, but I like this idea. So instead of survival training like how it normally is, they go through psych evals, and the capital then learns what their biggest fear is, who they love most, what is their favorite animal, all these mental things about the tributes. But unbeknownst to these tributes, like I said earlier, they are placed into individual arenas, but not necessarily like full-fledged arenas, maybe just wide spaces that expand no more than a mile. And they are blindfolded. Before they go up in the tubes, somehow like some capital device that might be on their head just kind of like zoom, and lashes over their eyes, can't see. They're blindfolded. And again, they don't know that they are in this space alone, and it is an empty field for now. The weird psychological twist is because they're blindfolded, they don't know what their setting is, they don't know where the dangers lie, and I guess let's say every 6 hours, I'm thinking like Chinese water torture where it's like nothing major, but it's the fear of the unknown and the constant like sensation that drives them to insanity. So I would say every 6 hours, maybe every 12 hours, or at random times, me, the game maker, throws in something scary or like a mutt or something that might trigger them mentally to where it's small, maybe just like in the like a jabberjay of someone that they love screaming, or they hear, if they're afraid of lions, they hear the grumble of a lion in the far distance. Or maybe if they don't like tight spaces, then they put up an invisible barrier to make it feel like it's slowly caving in on them before it dissipates. Very as quickly as it came, so too has it left. You know what I'm saying? And how like the whole competition, fight to the death things work, because they're in their individual arenas, obviously there's no fighting going on, but what like keeps the capital citizens enthralled is the final 6 that are left. Basically, all of these little torturous, mild torturous devices are trying to invoke is pushing them to insanity to the point where they kill themselves, to the point where the tributes eliminate themselves. Then the final 6 are then thrown into a conjoined arena where they then Hunger Games as normal. But also that'd be the grand finale, so they'd all be wanting to get it over with. So that would be like the driving force to get them together. The capital devices finally like unblind them. And then the final 6, final 4, what have you, fight to the death. So I basically said, unbeknownst to the tributes, they are placed into individual arenas blindfolded, driving them mad, and whoever kills themselves last from psychological torture is the victor. Except I just edited it to the point where final 4, final 3, final 6 are thrown into one arena together, and then Hunger Games as normal. Let the Hunger Games start as normal. Okay, moving on. I do like that idea. I came up with that tonight, and I thought that was really cool and interesting. And so that was a little more fleshed out. But my last arena idea that I had was misty, like think, you know when you see like a classic zombie flick and it takes place in the countryside and there's rolling hills, but it's misty, you can't really see that far, you don't know where the danger lies beyond the mist, and I'm thinking like one tree that you see like the shadow of, and then slowly shadows start to emerge as zombies emerge from the mist. It's not a zombie arena, but that's kind of like the vibe I'm going for. Is it's heavily misty, you can only see so far in front of you before silhouettes and shapes starts to emerge, and as these tributes are making their way along, they don't know if the shadows emerging are other tributes. They don't know if they're allies that they made. They don't know if they're well springs, water springs for sustenance. They don't know if it might be an apple tree where they can get fruit from. Or one like torturous thing that I thought of that as a game maker I can put into one of these, once they get used to the arena and like there's a wellspring over there, I'm gonna go get some water. As they draw close, they realize it's not a wellspring. But I'm thinking along the lines of, what were those things from Doctor Who called, the silent angels or something like that? I was never a Doctor Who stan, but I remember my friends in middle school were, and they tried to explain how these things were very spooky. Silent angels? Doctor Who. Oh, the Weeping Angels. The Weeping Angels from Doctor Who. That's what I think. Or even, here's a reference I do know, For those of you who have played The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, when you, in the end game, when you're going to battle Alduin, you have to battle to Sovngarde. And in Sovngarde, there's these giant statues of like hooded figures that are like cloaked. Think Lord Varys from Game of Thrones, how they have like their arms cloaked up and held like this together. But the cloak sleeves are over their arms, so the cloak sleeves, goddamn, are like pressed together and the arms are folded in on each other. Hooded figures can't see their face, but as you walk along the path of Sovngarde, they turn to you and they move, but they don't move while you're looking at them. You have to like travel a little bit and then they'll follow you. I'm thinking that kind of vibe, but also the vibe of Weeping Angels from Doctor Who, but the statues aren't necessarily statues, but mutts of the tributes, families and loved ones, standing there with anguished faces on them. They might be sobbing, but they're frozen in time. So it's like a weird psychological torture kind of thing. And then maybe during the finale of the games, those statues then become grotesque. They come to life and then they attack the tributes like the mutts at the end of the other games. Or I shouldn't say the other games, the mutts at the end of the 74th Hunger Games, the one with Katniss and Peeta. We're going back in time, yeah. The one where Katniss and Peeta almost died together, but then sparked the rebellion. But then in this universe that I'm the Gamemaker in, the Capitol crushed that rebellion. Boom. The Seneca Crane blew Katniss and Peeta sky high, like he should have. And then there was no more rebellion. But in my universe, that's what happened, okay? Anyway, so the finale of that games is the Weeping Angels, the scary Sovngarde statues of the tributes, families, loved ones in anguish and terror come to life finally after days on days, however long the games last, of being considered harmless unless it's just psychological unease. Come to life and then attack. They attack. So that's my Misty Zombie Apocalypse arena idea. And I love looking up what people... Oh, how I love to look up the ideas of others. Oh, I throw my arms up in the air and I say, that is such a good idea. I love looking up forums of people coming up with Hunger Games ideas. I've seen underwater where they have like scuba gear and it's all underwater. I've seen cruise ship. I've seen an abandoned mall. I've seen a hospital with weapons inherently just strewn about. And I think it's so interesting, the creativity and sadistic nature that some people have. And it's always good. So I'd love to hear some ideas that you guys might throw out. And sound off. Sound off to me and drop it down below. Hard pivot. We're done with Hunger. I'm done with the Hunger Games Quarter Quells. I'm done with the Hunger Games Arena. And I want to hard pivot to something that was on my mind when I was driving to work. It was more on my mind. What? When I say it was on my mind, do I mean it made me cry on the way to work? Yeah. Was I sobbing in the car at 6 a.m.? Yes, I was, from this story. I watched a speech this man was giving about, and it was a personal anecdote that he was telling this audience, and I don't know originally if it was for motivation reasons, I don't know if it was for comedic purposes, but I think the art of a good speech always has humor thrown in. And this guy was naturally very funny. Even though he wasn't necessarily telling jokes, just the way he was telling the story was inherently funny. And he talked about how when he was 6 years old, he was doing some assignment for school where you had to say something along the lines of, as blue as the sky, as red as a rose, as green as an apple, so to speak. But his teacher saw his assignment, and what this man had written down, I don't know what his name is, let's call him Jeff. What Jeff had written down when he was 6 years old said, as red as a pickle. And when I watched that, I kind of went, haha, that's a little silly and funny. But the story then took a little bit of a more serious turn, and the teacher called in his mother, Jeff's mother, who was I believe she was a college professor in biology or something of the sort. The teacher explained a little concerning answer and blah, blah, blah. And Jeff had mentioned how that weekend his mother had rented out a private study room in a library with all these different kinds of books that he couldn't comprehend what they meant, but the books had an array of different colored dots ranging from red, orange, green, all that sort of different combos. And his mother would ask him, do you see the 7? But Jeff couldn't. He couldn't because he found out that he was severely colorblind. And when you're colorblind, you have like that, that colorblind test with all the little colored dots, and you try to find the green 7 amongst the array of orange dots. But colorblind people can't distinguish the differences between the two. Jeff couldn't, obviously, because he was colorblind. So he kind of kept this secret to himself, and he tried to keep it as long as possible because he learned the names of colors and what they are associated with. So tigers are orange, pickles are green, the sky is blue, etc., for a wide variety of things. But then somehow it became known that, it was when he was a little bit older, later in elementary school, his teacher had gotten a box of crayons that had like wild freaking color names. Like, those Crayola 128 count boxes that will give you like, what are some of the craziest Crayola colors? Okay, so I guess these are weird Crayola colors. Jazzberry jam, Mauvelous, which that's hilarious. Mauve, obviously. Wisteria, which is the World in Wizard 101. Neon carrot, that's probably orange. Cornflower, Fuzzy Wuzzy. Let me guess. I think Jazzberry Jam is going to be like a deep purple color. Oh, and it's going to be pink. So yeah, I guess I was kind of close. But so he got these Crayola boxes that had these crazy colors on them, and because he had to associate the normal colors with all these different things, suddenly he was thrown into a world that he had no idea of. And eventually people started to figure out he can't see these colors. He doesn't know what these colors are. So they would test him and be like, whatever. Came to be known that Jeff was colorblind from his peers. And he did get a little bit of ridicule, and people constantly asking him, what do you see here? What do you see? And he'd just be like, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I can't distinguish it. And eventually he grew deeply ashamed of it. Finally, he goes off to college after kind of accepting it, growing up with it. People made their jokes, but overall, it was fine. And he made really good friends. One friend, Ronald, whatever his name was, Ronald, he would joke with Jeff about his colorblind, but overall was a really nice guy and grew to be one of the best friends. So at some point, Jeff sees online a viral video of a man trying on glasses that are supposed to correct colorblindness. And he was so excited that he researched it and saw that the glasses were hundreds of dollars outside of his budget, but he could make an appointment to try them on. And I'm not doing this story justice because I haven't lived this, and the point that I'm getting at is so different from Jeff's worldview. But he made an appointment to try on these glasses, but it was months of waiting. And when he was on the phone with the receptionist to make an appointment, she said, I only have availability, say, 8 months from now. And Jeff made some kind of very, very disappointed, guttural, true sound deep from within. And the receptionist really took that to heart, and she says, I do have a small window available at 8:30 tomorrow if you can make it. He goes, yes, I'll be there. Come to find out that the office is hundreds of miles away. And so very last minute, he decides he's going to make the road trip, and he can't sleep. Instead of leaving at 3 a.m., he leaves at 2 a.m., and he calls his best friend on the way because he can't contain his excitement. He's like, hey, Ronald, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to try on these colorblind glasses, and I'm going to see purple, man. I'm going to see purple for the first time. And he was so beyond excited. And Ronald thought nothing, like, he mentions how Ronald was, like, obviously he was tired because he just woke him up, but he goes, that's great, man. Nothing else. And so he calls a few people more along the way. When he finally he makes his appointment on time. Oh, the thing that started to make me tear up was he gets to the city that the appointment's in, but he has a little bit of time to kill. So he stops by a coffee shop and he's staring at the pastry case, just wondering what all these colors could be that he might be able to see within like the next hour. And he was staring so hard at all these things, these pastries, thinking so hard about the colors that they could be and this whole new world of possibilities that might open up to him, to the point where the barista probably thought he was a madman, you know? And so I started to tear up because at this point I was driving to work and I was still listening to the TikTok, and I'm looking around and I'm seeing green trees. I'm seeing the rising sun in like my rear view mirror. I'm seeing all these colors that we take for granted in just day-to-day life. And even now, like, I have LED lights going on behind my camera right next to me, this beautiful orange tone with like a tint of blue at the top. Up here I have like a deep blue, so deep that it looks dark compared to the other lights. There is a bright pink right next to that, and like they're all matching. So I was started to tear up because I put myself in Jeff's shoes, knowing what I know now and knowing the world of beauty that we can see because we are able to experience color like this, especially when we're outside in natural settings. There's so many colors to look at, and it was so overwhelmingly beautiful. I started to tear up. But then it got worse. And it got so much worse because Jeff talks about how he got to the appointment and the receptionist, Tina, was there, and Tina led him to the back where there were all these boxes, and she picked up one and she handed Jeff the box and he started to unbox it and put it on. But Tina stopped him and said, wait, I'm going to take you to somewhere where you can really enjoy this. And she takes him to outside the building, in the back alley where there was a garden of all these different flowers all in bloom. And she was like, all right, go ahead. And Jeff puts it on, closes his eyes, puts on the glasses, he opens up. Nothing. The glasses had no effect because Jeff actually turned out to be a very, I think he said it was 10% of the colorblind population is what's called something khaki, tanner, true tan. Let me see. Jeff, what are you? Okay, so, oh my God, I feel so bad for him again because the speech was so strong and so like he really dives deep into his emotions that he felt during this whole process. I forgot to mention that when he was driving and he was calling his friends, then they were less than what he felt in terms of excitement on his way, that he started to doubt himself, thinking like, am I really about to drive hundreds of miles just to do this? Like, they don't seem as excited as they should be. He started to doubt himself, but he was like, no, this is my moment. This is something that I am very excited for. It doesn't matter what they think. So he puts on the glasses, opens his eyes, and he doesn't see like vibrant arrays of purples, blues, pinks in the flowers. He sees nothing. There is no change. And Tina, who was excited for him to have this experience, her demeanor changes immediately. And she says that he is what's called a strong pro-tan. Like I said, it's only 10% of the colorblind population where it's so severe that the glasses that are made don't have an effect. So even though like there is like this technology that we develop where colorblind people can see the world like never before, he still cannot. And it made me, so I started to cry so bad because after listening to him talk about how excited he was to see the colors in nature and see the colors of a pastry case, even though they might be mundane as shit, he couldn't be excited to see it, couldn't be more excited to see it, only to have it all disappointed and ripped away from him. And on his way back from the eyeglass place, the colorblind glasses place, his friend had called him, and he talked about, the friend mentioned how after talking to all the other friends, that they all decided to chip in and buy him the glasses that were well out of his budget. And he had to explain to his friends, I appreciate the generosity and the loving nature of you guys, but they don't work. They don't work for me. And oh my God. And I just empathized so hard, and my heart went out to him so bad. And he might be at peace with it now. He might be optimistic for what the future holds. I don't know. I don't know the guy personally, but I'm crying in my car over this because he can't experience the bare minimum of beauty that the general population might on a day-to-day basis. And I had this open heart and open mind after listening to it, just to... I've talked about it before, and I've talked about it... I can't even mention how many times, to embrace the mundane and the beauty of the natural world around you as much as you can. And it's so easy to forget to do that. And I'm guilty of forgetting to do it all the time. But when I'm driving to work, like, I'm seeing the greens of fields, I'm seeing the beautiful blue sky. I saw a blue jay on my way, or on my drive home today, and I stared at that freaking blue jay much longer than I should have. The light had turned green for a few seconds. Nobody honked at me, thank God. But I was staring at this blue jay because blue jays are my favorite birds. I have a strong connection to them because it's something my mom and I share in common. What did she say? She has a strong connection to blue jays because I believe someone in her life had passed, and whenever a blue jay appears, she is reminded of that person. And she likes to think that this blue jay is sent by this person whom she had lost. But to me, blue jays are just a special moment of connection between my mother and I. And I think I told her, if I ever go before you and you see a blue jay, know that that is me. And I know that that is you if you... Once you die before me, once you die and I see blue jays, I'm always going to think that's you visiting me. You know what I mean? And so I stared at this blue jay on the way home from work, and just in conjunction with my open eyes to the beauty of nature, the vibrant colors of this blue jay's feathers, and that special moment I had with my mom, it just made me miss my mom. And I miss my mom, and I got to see my dad today, which is awesome. And it's those small things that I am trying to appreciate much more. And I think that is going to be something that I want to work harder at, is noticing the colors around me. Even though it sounds so simple and easily forgettable, it's something that I want to become more acutely aware of the beauty of the world around me, and that I am privileged enough to be able to see its vibrancies, its hues and shadows and shades. I don't even want to get into color theory because that's diving into a whole nother topic that kind of takes away from just the natural awe of it all. One day I'll talk about color theory and how we're programmed to think about how we're programmed that colors make us feel things inherently. They make us feel things inherently. We have physical reactions to them. One day I'll get into all that, but for now I'm going to keep it simple and just discuss the awe, beauty, and wonder of colors in the natural world around us, or even the artificial ones. I've had this setting on the entire episode, but when I change it, suddenly it's a lot brighter. Maybe you kind of, oh my God, I wasn't ready for that transition. It's pastels. What are you going to do? Then this is kind of the same vibe that I had before, just kind of these neon pinkish hues. What if I put it to emerald, more of an emerald color? Like, how does this make you feel? How does it change the tonalities of my skin tone? How does it change like the tapestry that's behind me? What if I made it crystal clean? Does this make you feel more sterile? Do you feel like you just entered a hospital under fluorescent lights? I do. That's why I'm going to change it. And this one, it's stronger pinkish hues, maybe a little bit brighter, but there's purple behind the TV. There is like an orange tint that might be going on. So I love colors. That is all purple, but obviously you only see blue. I'm going to put it back to what it was before. And yeah, I think I'm just going to try to enjoy sightseeing colors more. That's going to be my goal after this. So yeah, that's where I'm going to leave you guys for this episode. Not only do I want you guys to comment your Hunger Game arena ideas and Quarter Quells ideas down below, wherever you want to comment. I challenge you to appreciate colors more. Just look and think about how you might be privileged enough to see the beauty of colors around you. I feel like I've driven that point ad nauseum at this point. Yeah, I'm going to be dropping a poll of my favorite of these Hunger Game ideas. I want you to vote for your favorite. Let's get some engagement up on this episode and rate me 5 stars, share with your friends, like, comment, repost, advertise. Let's get my interactions up. Let's get these views up, guys, so that I can keep creating more content for you guys and not feel like I'm doing this for absolutely nothing, which I'm not. I'm doing it for myself. But overall, like, I'm putting my content out into the world and I want people to see it. I want to drive my audience. I want to expand. Let's expand the loners that I got gathering around me, because why? We're alone in a room. We're alone in a car. We're alone wherever we're listening to this. You guys are the loners, okay? The official group title. You guys are my loners. All right, loners, I bid you adieu. Good night. Enjoy colors and think about the Hunger Games. See ya!